trigger happy and I give less than a fuck. Love me or hate me, I'ma show enough, rip shit up. It's Mr. Nothing, nice on a mic stand. Mic in the left and the zest in my right hand. I took a puff, had enough now, hold up. If that was Indo, niggas getting rolled up.
What's going on, folks? This is Acid Roots. I'm going to review the Aron EP by Deuce. This was the first project he did, and it dropped way back in 2005. And I kind of felt like, I mean, really, a lot of this project is ahead of its time, just out of the sheer kind of stuff that would eventually affect music as far out as like 2011 and 2012 and 2013. And Deuce had a real good amalgamation of talents here that really kind of showcased his overall worth and contributions to like the rock rap scene and the alternative scene is definitely a plus, and Deuce definitely had star power. But so to my knowledge, a lot of these songs came out on Deuce's MySpace back in 2005, and he had enough wherewithal to collect these songs and try to make the Aron EP, which was distributed to like a couple music specific websites and that type stuff. I don't know if it has a CD release. I'm not sure. I'm fairly certain it's not on like Amazon, iTunes, that type stuff. It doesn't seem like it's on too many MP3 type websites, but it seems like it's kind of a rarity in a lot of ways, and that makes it even more valuable because it's so good. I mean, this is definitely going to get a high score when you see what I'm talking about here. But to kind of describe Deuce, I mean, some of the situations here, some of these songs were also on his Call Me Big Deuce mixtape, like Sometimes and Franny and like Breaking Through. But the reality of it is these surfaced way back in 2005 when Deuce was just trying to be a solo act. And the thing about Deuce as a solo act before Hollywood Undead, he kind of comes off as like this emo kind of rocker that makes like a lot of alternative music just without. I mean, he doesn't really rap on this album. He hadn't quite gotten into rapping yet, but he kind of has like this very moody and brooding kind of vibe about him in a light rock sense. I mean, some of these rock songs on here like Far Away and Fallen Stone, they kind of have like rock tinges, and Breaking Through is another kind of rock oriented song. But the main situation about it kind of is just the acumen of how this is pulled off in a very good way. So I'm proud of that situation as far as Deuce being able to do those kind of, because really it was original. I mean, there weren't really like the Ronnie Radkes, and there weren't really like, I'm trying to think of like the Panic at the Disco really hadn't happened too much yet, and Fall Out Boy was just getting started, some of the more emo type stuff. But really for Deuce to just kind of do it without a band, basically just do this by himself, this was extremely good to kind of gotten a solo rock musician who's kind of in like a rap tinge but still makes rock songs in kind of an emo sense. So that's what you're getting with this project. Extremely clever. I'm surprised that this didn't catch on, and it's kind of shameful, but it does definitely make me want to purchase the Aron EP, just because not only because of how ahead of its time it was, but how effective it was that it did it in that same sense. This is from 2005, not 2013, so keep that in mind. So yeah, there's no single on here, but I'm going to talk about a number of the songs just so you get like the breakdown. I feel like songs like Sometimes and Sometimes, Franny, and Surface Air kind of have that kind of emo pitch to them, and definitely very moody, kind of, lots of emote. Not to say that in a bad way, but it kind of gets you in your feels, like, damn, like it almost makes you feel like you're kind of like Deuce in a sense, where you've got to worry, you got to kind of haters, and I'm not so sure, and I need to watch my back, and I'm not sure what's going to happen next, those kinds of vibes and that sort of thing. And it's just overall good. I mean, I like it. It just kind of has like a very enthralling feel to it. That's definitely something about this project, is the enthrallingness towards it makes it a lot more comfortable. And a lot of this is just kind of like frantic, but not so much in an energetic sense as much as just kind of in a nervous sense. And it's kind of interesting to kind of get that, because it does feel like Deuce has paranoia or something, but I do appreciate like the concept of this sort of stuff working in kind of that sense because it's just overall good. I mean, a lot of these, like the beat on sometimes is really kind of catchy. It really felt like a song that you would have heard in 2010. And it's the same thing with Surface Air. That's another one that kind of has that kind of in a light club sense. And then Far Away kind of sounds like a rock song that sometimes Surface Air and Franny and Dreams all kind of have like that more emo and kind of moody, like I said, brooding kind of thought provoking, paranoid kind of vibe towards them, kind of in like a sense of real kind of nerve wracking and just that type of stuff, ruminating, that sort of vibe. But then like breaking through Fallen Stone and Far Away kind of have like that rock pitch. So it really felt like Deuce was trying to go for like a solo musician, rock rapper who kind of is similar to like Billy Joe Armstrong and then like Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, and really I think like I said, this is extremely clever, especially for far back in 2005. I think that definitely would have taken had he caught on 17 years ago. I think it probably would have gotten him even more fame. But then he had a good look for himself even further when he hooked up with Hollywood Undead and did those songs because really once he started messing with Hollywood Undead, he really started to connect even further because he usually did the hooks for Hollywood Undead, and he was just outstanding when he did those. And it really helped Hollywood Undead break into the spotlight, not wholesomely, but he was a contribution. So, and another thing to know about this project, the Aron EP, is just the fact that all of these songs damn near have fantastic hooks. Like sometimes and Far Away, so many of these like even like Fallen Stone. I mean, like most of these hooks, I'm sure once you listen to this and you pick out and you hand pick some of these that you enjoy, you're gonna find that Deuce really knows how to do hooks. I mean, some musicians kind of get held back and kind of lack a bit because they cannot deliver like a hook that just catches in your head and is quite inescapable. But Deuce has the ability to really get some hooks that are sing-songy, get you singing along, and are overall have the catchiness vibe that is necessary for most normal songs. That's kind of the situation. So I'm glad for that because, yeah, like I said, not every musician kind of fleshes this out, and it's good that Deuce could do that and kind of have like the melodic sense that he has on top of that. So he is a stellar singer. I mean, that's definitely the thing about it. So I'm gonna give this album a 10 out of 10. I really feel like this every song hit and connected. I was debating giving it a 9, but I'm going to wind up giving it a 10 just because of the sheer velocity of what this was and what it was trying to be way back in 2005. The effectiveness of the hooks, the catchiness of the songs, the greatness of the production, and the overall moodiness and just the emphatic kind of aesthetic that it carries and just how stylish it is overall. So there's just plenty of situations about that that make it an attractive project. And really, I mean, I feel like Deuce probably was just, these were just a collection of his songs from his MySpace that he felt like those were just the best ones. These are the ones that are going to get him the exposure and get him on his way. But I do feel like what Deuce was attempting to do back in 2005 is definitely noteworthy, and that's kind of the situation about it. So despite the fact that it didn't have a major label backing, that's not to say it's any sense of unprofessional. I mean, I'm sure even today that there's plenty of music on MySpace and other internet websites that were kind of small term back in those days to prove that there was some excellent independent music at that time. So I would definitely say the only real slight to this project is just it didn't have a single. I mean, really, it felt like it was just kind of Deuce was probably just working, some fast food job or whatever he was doing, working some substandard job, blue collar job or something while making these songs, but it doesn't change the quality of it. I mean, Deuce had the star power. He was a marketable musician, but it's kind of the situation. So no singles, The social score, I would say, I think that there's enough on here. It's difficult. I'd probably give it a 7 just because there's not a single, but there's enough on here, especially like in the moody sense. All of these are outgoing. There's not really any ballads or this kind of more ruminating indoors kind of stuff that's just for like cleaning house or something like that, or going out to the post office and paying bills. But I just would have to say that there is quite a bit. I mean, any of these you can have for like, the smoke session, cruising around in the car, backyard barbecues, that type of stuff, just hanging out, drinking a few beers, flirting with some women, that type of stuff. Plenty of stuff just to go around with that sort of vibe. So it's just good overall, and it's an effective start to Deuce's catalog, I would definitely say.